Do you want to know how the previous US president lost $600 million? What became of his family after the 2020 election? Stay tuned and we'll tell you what's going on behind the curtain of Donald Trump's life. Hello dear friends, today we are going to talk about one of the most influential people of today, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has lost $600 million in 2020. According to Forbes magazine, the past US president fortune has shrunk by almost 20%. As a result, he has fallen 64 places to 339th in the list of the 400 richest people in the country. However, the amount on his account is still considerable, $2.5 billion. He owns some of the most expensive buildings in America, has the most luxurious cars in his fleet, as well as private helicopters and planes with gold-plated sinks. A penthouse drenched in luxury. In 2005, New York Times journalist Tim O'Brien reported in his book The Trump State that Donald Trump's fortune was at best $250 million, while both he himself and his entire entourage claimed he was a billionaire. Trump has sued the reporter. US broadcaster CBS News reported Trump's lawsuit against O'Brien for $5 billion was later dismissed, but it turned out that Donald really wasn't lying. He had $4.5 billion in his account at that time. Trump is fabulously rich. He has many luxury real estate properties. For example, Trump's Wall Street building is valued at $345 million and Trump Tower in Manhattan at $371. The building has 58 floors. Hollywood actor Bruce Willis and footballer Cristiano Ronaldo have flats in the tower. The top 3 floors of the skyscraper in the heart of an upscale neighborhood are the Trump apartments. This flat is particularly favored by the president's wife Melania, with its panoramic windows overlooking Central Park. The Trump's inner circle compared the apartment to the Palace of Versailles and joked that the presidential couple could not live in the White House because it would seem too insignificant compared to a penthouse in New York drenched in luxury. The interior was conceived by one of the most sought-after and popular designers, Angelo Dogna, who has been dubbed the Yves Saint Laurent of sofas. His style was once appreciated by Liza Minnelli, Calvin Klein, and Diana Ross. The Trump apartment has plenty of marble, including walls, columns, and floor. The designer chose a Louis XIV style for Donald and Melania. The flat has a real fountain. The Trump family crest is embroidered on upholstered velvet cushions, and there are family portraits on the walls. There are crystal chandeliers, ceiling paintings, tapestries, and statues of ancient gods everywhere. Melania's maid said that the glasses and cups in which the family was served juice, tea, and coffee were decorated with gold. The First Lady lived in the White House with her husband, but she and her son Barron often returned to their apartment. The trip took them no more than 90 minutes. They used a limousine, a private plane, and then a helicopter to fly from Washington to New York. The same quick commute from New York to the American capital is usually made by Trump's beloved daughter Ivanka and her husband Jared Kushner, a senior advisor to the US president and a special confidant on foreign policy issues. Ivanka has been accustomed to luxury since childhood. Her parents often took her to social events. Along with her mother, she would go to jewelry shops where, in her own words, diamonds were like dolls to her. Ivanka prefers expensive clothes. She wears elegant suits and dresses to work and chic toilets to events. Together with her husband Jared Kushner and 3 children, Ivanka lives in an upscale Manhattan neighborhood in a 10-bedroom apartment worth over $16 million. The flat measures 390 square meters and has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a study, a spacious kitchen, and a dining room. The father has never been stingy about pleasing a daughter. Ivanka and Jared's wedding is considered to be one of the most lavish in US history. The event took place at the National Golf Club of New Jersey. Around 500 guests attended the ceremony. Each of them received gifts worth $9,000 after the ceremony. The bride's lace gown by Vera Wang was inspired by Grace Kelly's wedding gown. Ivanka wore platinum and diamond earrings, a bracelet, and a veil clip worth $265,000. The 13-tiered wedding cake, 170 centimeters high, earned special attention from the guests. The bride's father insisted that everything be done in a royal fashion. The golden plane. He is used to living the high life. Trump has the most expensive cars in the world in his garage: a 2003 Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, a Lamborghini Diablo VT, a Rolls-Royce Phantom worth over $500,000, and a 1956 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud vintage car. He also has other personal transport: 3 helicopters, the best of which, the Sikorsky S-76, cost him $7 million. It was rumored that Trump hired a fashion designer to decorate a vehicle with gold and also tuned it for $750,000. In addition, the billionaire has 2 private jets, a Boeing 757 and a Cessna 750. Trump's Boeing has several bedrooms, as well as a bathroom with a sink covered in gold, a living room and a dining room. By the way, the seatbelt buckles in this airliner are also gold-plated. Bigger than Obama's. The billionaire also owns other buildings, including business centers and hotels. The Mar-a-Lago private club in Palm Beach, Florida, worth over $150 million, is considered the unofficial residence of Donald Trump. The mansion has 58 bedrooms, 33 bathrooms. In addition, the estate has 126 rooms. The Trumps rent out these rooms for private events. To become a member, one has to pay a $100,000 admission fee and also pay a $14,000 annual fee. At this estate, Trump enjoys ocean views, a huge pool, a spa, gourmet cuisine, a tennis court, and a golf course. In total, Trump has 10 golf courses worth a total of $206 million, which are located in 6 US states. The other 3 courses are located in Scotland and Ireland and cost another $85 million. Donald Trump has played at least 800 rounds of golf during his years in the White House. This has cost American taxpayers $142 million. Obama, on the other hand, played just 105 rounds, Forbes wrote. Americans have complained that protecting Trump's private estates is costing them too much. The head of state's 2 private estates, Mar-a-Lago and Trump Tower in New York, have to shell out an extra $41 million to protect them. Thus, every trip Trump makes to his Florida estate costs $3,700,000. In early 2018, US media estimated that the 45th president spent more on travel in 1 year in office than Barack Obama did in 8 years. And in the 745 days that Trump led the state, he spent 222 days at resorts he owned, with another 168 days golfing at his private clubs. The cars of the presidential motorcade, which are usually taken along on official visits to other countries, also cost taxpayers in the US. The motorcade consists of 30-40 different cars and motorbikes, including limousines, SUVs, commandos, jammers, a cuckoo with government communication means, and even a special van for carrying the nuclear button. This equipment is transported to its destination by military transport aircraft. The president himself travels in a special armored limousine, which is stuffed with various ultra-modern systems such as infrared imaging devices or an air purification system in case of a gas attack. The car is also stocked with blood, with the president's blood group, for transfusion in case of need. The US president's trips cost the budget at least $350 million each year. This is the only way to get things done. Despite his vast wealth, Trump, when choosing between fine dining and burgers, is likely to favor fast food. In January 2019, Trump ordered 300 burgers to the White House, along with fries and pizza. This was his way of celebrating the champion of American college football. The food was served by candlelight on silver trays. The gala dinner was held in the dining hall, where a portrait of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, hangs. The American leader himself described the delivered food as fine American food. Unlike previous US presidents, Donald Trump has never cared about eating right. He has admitted that he likes pizza and burgers, chips and sweet biscuits. However, he did have to give up one delicacy because of politics. The fact is that Trump's favorite biscuits have been moved to Mexico. The president often orders his chefs good red meat steaks and as few vegetables as possible, as well as a Cobb salad with Roquefort cheese and bacon. The head of state is fairly indifferent to alcohol, but he drinks unlimited quantities of Diet Coke. The billionaire's entourage wrote that he only sleeps 3 or 4 hours a day and works without holidays or weekends. Trump believes that this is the only way to succeed. According to the president's former employees, messages from him could come at any time of the day or night. Trump is rather indifferent to fitness, preferring to exercise the rather the better on occasion, and making an exception only for golf. There too, he does not allow himself to overexert himself, moving around the course in a golf cart rather than on foot. Because of the president's reluctance to move, a scandal erupted in December 2018. It emerged that Trump needed a limousine and 7-car motorcade to cover 230 meters. The head of state, along with his wife Melania, decided to visit the Bush family at Blair House, guest residence of the US president and government, located directly opposite the White House. In the past, the leaders of state have quietly reached the place on foot. Because of this trip, several streets in the area were blocked at once. Americans debated why the president demanded a motorcade and whether it was because he couldn't or just didn't want to walk down the street. Trump did not want to. The weather that day was rather overcast and cold. Life after the presidency. As we learned, Trump's wealth has plummeted a lot during his presidency. Almost all of his assets plummeted in value, but the buildings in New York fell the most. Their value fell due to the low demand during the coronavirus pandemic. Overall, Trump's fortune has fallen by $1 billion in 4 years. While the 2016 ranking of the richest Americans estimated his net worth at $3.7 billion, it was only $2.5 billion when he was president. So what happens to Trump's fortune now that he is no longer president? Write in the comments. Your opinion is important to us.